more than 100 years since the inauguration of this building, the OAS headquarters, our institution still brings together the peoples of the Americas to address our responsibilities as a partnership of nations. As we look to the future, our work must also focus on the construction of a positive agenda that continues to favorably impact millions of lives every day.
The COVID-19 pandemic brought unprecedented challenges to our member states and the people we serve. In response, the OAS Secretariat for Integral Development adopted a three-pronged approach by 1. Adjusting our portfolio of existing projects, 2. Exploring new projects to meet emerging needs, and 3. Expanding multi-sectoral partnerships. The results achieved in 2020 demonstrate the resilience of our member states and the commitment of the OAS SETI to work with member states and partners towards our common goals in the development of our region. Our Network on Competitiveness launched the COVID-19 Ideas Accelerator, sharing 250 tools, health solutions, responses, and recovery plans. The Network for Labor Administration published a portfolio of responses from ministries of labor to COVID-19, sharing over 420 measures taken to protect workers, employment, and income. Likewise, the Inter-American Teacher Education Network series, Teaching STEM in Quarantine, provided 117,000 teachers with key tools to continue advancing STEM education during the pandemic. Through its network and platforms, the Inter-American Committee on Ports promoted international and national best practices, guidelines, protocols, and recommendations on COVID-19 safety measures and continuity of logistic operations. Initiatives such as the Education in Times of Change platform allowed us to meet urgent needs by offering timely tools on virtual education and a dedicated space for ministries to share strategies, actions, and solutions. Other programs such as the Row Fund stepped up, providing emergency grants to offset the challenges imposed on our students by the pandemic. SETI's partnerships are adding value to member states in the form of technical assistance, training, and access to tools and services. In partnership with leading private sector institutions, we offered micro, small, and medium enterprises access to online tools and training, increasing their visibility and participation in e-commerce, a key to their survival and growth in the pandemic and post-pandemic era. A new OAS SETI Facebook initiative provided 85,000 MSMEs across the region with capacity building opportunities and WhatsApp business tools to aid response, recovery, and resilience building. SETI's results for 2018 proves our effectiveness as a development.
Hello, Guillermo. This is David. Hi, Magali. I can't hear Magali, but it looks like I'm all fine and it's working. You can hear me well?
Into action. With an
Okay,
eye on the
Brian's on.
Global context, SETI is innovating to constructively address
Testing,
the
testing,
emerging
1, 2, 3.
challenges
Can you hear
and
me all right?
opportunities for the region.
Testing the English channel.
As part
Thank
of
you.
our competitiveness program, SETI is designing precise tools to assess assets and capabilities in the productive sector to determine paths towards higher value goods and services. As our flagship program for partnerships, the Americas Competitiveness Exchange on Innovation and Entrepreneurship, the OAS, will continue to leverage good practices and the power of networks to increase trade and investment in the region.
For us, the role of the OAS is very important, connecting countries, connecting governments and private sector, and letting us know what other countries are doing it and how we can replicate that in our countries to enhance development.
Good afternoon. Can you see and hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can see you and hear very clear.
Perfect.
Thank you, Ambassador. Muchas gracias. Tomamos nota de la presencia de
The Working Group of Experts on Subnational Competitiveness, the GTEX, is our gateway program to promote local economic competitiveness policies alongside municipal and state-level governments, together with the private sector and academia.
Este tipo de reuniones te sirven para darte cuenta de todo lo que se está viviendo en América Latina sobre los temas de competitividad. Y hoy justamente en este sector estamos viendo sobre todo los temas de innovación tecnológica, pues que si hablamos de competitividad tenemos que hablar de tecnología. Y me está ayudando mucho para ver el panorama de ver lo que están haciendo otras ciudades y lo que podemos llegar a aplicar también nosotros en México.
The hub on the transfer and commercialization of technology is strengthening national innovation ecosystems by training budding entrepreneurs to take promising products and services from idea to market.
¿Por qué es importante que estemos juntos en esto? Porque la región tiene que estar unida y me parece que hay mucho conocimiento en la región que todavía no está explotado comercialmente como podría ser, y esta es la mejor manera de hacerlo.
Tenemos la proyección de cada año generar y compartir nuevas experiencias entre aquellos que contribuyen a la innovación. Queremos cambiar el cómo lo hemos estado haciendo en Latinoamérica. Queremos generar la unión de los países, queremos colaborar.
Our virtual platform on technology foresight, Prospecta Americas, will support OAS member states in identifying and mapping future trends and technological development of critical importance for the Americas.
Este esfuerzo, el cual viene siendo apoyado por la Organización de los Estados Americanos, nos permitirá tener una gran información para poder mapear estas iniciativas de innovación y poder que ellas contribuyan al crecimiento económico, a la competitividad y al bienestar de nuestras naciones.
Como bien sabemos, nos encontramos ya en la cuarta revolución industrial, la que está cambiando rápidamente la forma en que se hace negocios, se produce, se consume y se genera bienestar y entretenimiento en el mundo. Es la mayor amenaza, tal vez la mejor oportunidad que tenemos en nuestras naciones.
The Inter-American Teacher Education Network, the I-10, is working to improve the quality of teachers with an emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. In 2019, the I-10 launched the first STEM Teacher Fellowship of the Americas. The Energy and Climate Partnership of the Americas, ECPA, is working with governments in the Caribbean to advance electric mobility and clean transport as the sub-region pursues energy independence. Under our Integrated Water Resource Management Program, SETI is responding to the demand for platforms and applications that capture and disseminate real-time information. This includes the expansion of Costa Rica's Plataforma Interactiva de Aplicación del Clima Tropical, to the rest of Central America to help build resilient agriculture. The Inter-American Committee on Ports is building human and institutional capacity through public-private partnerships to address port modernization, logistics, and security. CooperaNet, SETI's multi-stakeholder platform for cooperation and partnerships, is being relaunched in 2019, responding to member states' call for a more robust hub for cooperation. As more consumers begin or end their shopping process online, SETI has entered into a partnership with the private sector to digitize millions of micro, small, and medium enterprises across the region.
Las buenas noticias es que sabemos por qué están fracasando, porque no son visibles. Y el hecho de que ahora lo puedan ser, haciéndolo ellas mismas, no solamente rompemos las tres barreras del tiempo, conocimiento y dinero, sino que les permitimos tener éxito y dejar de fracasar a los porcentajes que lo hacen ahora.
Es una herramienta que sin duda acerca a las MIPYMES hacia la demanda que hoy está migrando a Internet, y con eso pretendemos mejorar las ventas y el posicionamiento de las empresas pequeñas.
As we look to the future, the Executive Secretariat for Integral Development will continue to leverage cooperation and partnerships to expand our reach, proving that together we are much more than the sum of our 34 member states.
Hola, buenas tardes, El Salvador presente.
Buenas tardes, tomamos nota, muchas gracias.
Me and my kids have been there for over an year right now. And children are friends. It doesn't matter where they come from.
Buenas tardes. Por favor, Costa Rica, Paraguay y Chile están pidiendo la palabra.
Buenas tardes, Paraguay presente.
Buenas tardes, tomamos nota, bienvenida, Ignacio. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás?
Buenas tardes, Magali.
Gracias a usted, muy amable, Laura.
Buenas tardes,
Nosotros estamos en
Buenas tardes,
una
¿cómo
zona
estás?
netamente selvática. La
Excelente,
línea de
vamos,
adyacencia va desde el norte hasta el sur, va desde Modesto Méndez hasta Aguas Turbias, tanto en el norte como en el sur.
Uruguay.
Esta línea tiene 215 kilómetros de extensión.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Muchas gracias. Tomamos nota de la presencia de Brasil.
Buenas tardes, no sé si se escucha.
Sí, se escucha.
Sí,
pero no la veo.
De allí vino él, se evocó creo con los de la OEA y de allí vino el proyecto para acá, para Judá. Y fue que lo dieron el terreno, y lo dieron todo que era mano de obra y el material para merced de las casas que están ahorita.
Señor
Y por ese
Jackson,
motivo
si
estamos
quiere,
aquí.
puede darle al proceder la palabra o lo repite. Creo que no me deja quiere que la sienta y pues le paso su contacto a mi número de teléfono. Con mucho gusto.
Mientras se aguarda el resultado del reclamo por mensaje a la Corte Internacional de Justicia por la disputa marítima territorial.
Gracias, muy amable.
Nuestra oficina en la zona adyacente realiza verificaciones, hace solicitudes a los gobiernos, facilita reuniones y patrullajes conjuntos entre las Fuerzas Armadas y promueve una cultura de paz y cooperación entre las comunidades locales.
Children will be children, and they have harmony. They don't see each other as a different country, but they see each other that we are growing together.
Good afternoon, Baron Bass from Jamaica.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Minister.
Hoy, esta organización es el guardián regional en defensa de la democracia, la libertad y los derechos humanos. Los países se han comprometido con estos valores a través de instrumentos legales como la Carta Democrática Interamericana, la Convención Americana de Derechos Humanos y todas las demás convenciones interamericanas. Nuestro trabajo es mantener los más altos estándares. Debemos ser objetivos,
pasar al canal de inglés.
denunciar cuando veamos
Deudis, buenos días, Magali Deudis. ¿Se me oye bien? Muy bien. Ahora le toca a mi colega Brian.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo me escuchas? Gracias. Saludos.
Pasaré al canal de español y hacemos una pequeña prueba con el canal de español. Súper bien. Muchísimas gracias. Muy bien. Segunda consola.
Sí.
Muy bien. Segunda consola, canal de español.
Sí.
Hola Claudio. Muy bien, le escuchamos. Gracias. Pasamos al francés. Prueba con el canal de francés.
Buenas tardes.
Hola, muy buenas tardes, querido compañero. Se le escucha muy bien.
Sí, muchas gracias. Segunda cabina de francés.
Segunda consola del canal de francés. Segunda consola, canal de francés.
No se escucha bien.
Segunda consola. No lo escucho. Vamos a pasar rápidamente al portugués. Portugués. Hola.
Hola, Mónica.
Hola, Mónica, la escuchamos.
Gracias.
Muy bien, la escuchamos. Gracias. Muy amable.
Gracias igualmente.
Segunda consola del portugués.
Gracias, Natalia. Muy bien. ¿Tú?
Le escuchamos
Sí,
muy bien. Muy bien, Natalia.
Volvemos al francés.
Nos quedó la segunda consola del canal de francés. Segunda consola del francés. No pudimos escuchar, Magali, tenemos una lista larga de
Sí, aceptan los países ya.
participantes. Listo.
Buenas tardes, Ecuador presente para la reunión.
Muchas gracias, tomamos nota, señor Ponce, muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
A usted.
Una buena tarde.
Gracias, igualmente. United States.
Good afternoon, Juliana Ames Neville here for the U.S. mission.
Okay, Juliana, nice to see you too. Thank you for establishing decorum. Guatemala.
SETI's results for 2018
Hola, ¿qué tal?
our effectiveness
Hola, ¿cómo
as a
estás?
development partner, placing people at the
Gracias,
center of
muy
our
amable.
work
Tomamos nota.
and
La
leveraging
presencia de
partnerships
Guatemala.
and cooperation
Ya,
to
señora
transform
Castañeda.
policy imperatives
Buenas tardes,
into
ahora
action.
sí.
Ahora sí, muy
Aparece la
bien.
imagen, gracias.
Excelente, muchas gracias. Tomamos nota de la presencia de Uruguay.
Constructively address the emerging challenges and opportunities for the region. As part of our competitiveness program, SETI is designing precise tools to assess assets and capabilities in the productive sector to determine paths towards higher value goods and services. As our flagship program for partnerships, the Americas Competitiveness
Honduras,
Exchange on
Bolivia,
Innovation and
Bahamas, Panamá y
Entrepreneurship
Canadá.
ACE
Por favor, ya
will
ves.
continue to leverage good practices and the power of networks to increase trade and investment in the region.
Yes,
For us, the role of the OAS
Thank you,
is very
Secretary.
important, connecting countries,
Buenas
connecting
tardes.
governments and
Buenas tardes.
private sector,
¿Cómo
and
está,
letting
doña
us know
Ponce?
what other countries are doing it and how
Pasando
we can
lista.
replicate
Muchas
that in our
gracias.
countries
Tomamos nota de la
to enhance
presencia de Honduras.
development.
For me, who has come here to look at how can we develop our own ecosystem, our own innovation hubs, our own accelerators, I think seeing this touching feeling.
Muy buenas tardes, Bolivia presente.
Muchas gracias. Tomamos nota de la presencia de Bolivia, señor Bolivia. A usted.
The Working Group of Experts on Subnational Competitiveness, the
Good afternoon.
GTEX, is our
Mr.
gateway
Roland.
program to promote local economic competitiveness
Perfect.
policies
Thank you so much. We
alongside
take note of the person
municipal
of
and
Bahamas.
state-level governments, together with the private sector and academia.
Canadá.
Este tipo de reuniones te sirven para darte cuenta de todo lo que se está viviendo en América Latina sobre los temas de competitividad. Y hoy justamente en este sector estamos viendo sobre todo los temas de innovación tecnológica. Los que si hablamos de
Tomamos nota
competitividad
de la
tenemos que hablar
presencia
de
de Panamá.
tecnología. Y me está ayudando mucho para ver un panorama de ver lo que están haciendo las ciudades y lo que podemos llegar a aplicar también nosotros en México.
The hub on the transfer and commercialization of technology is strengthening national innovation
Excellent.
ecosystems by training budding entrepreneurs to take promising
We take note
products
of the
and
person of Canadá,
services
San
from
Vincent.
idea to market.
San Vincent de Granadinos.
Porque es importante que estemos juntos en esto, porque la región tiene que estar unida y me parece que mucho conocimiento en la
Thank
región
you.
que
We take note of the
todavía no está
person of San
explotado
Vincent
como
de
se
Granadinos.
podría ser, y esta es la mejor manera de
Thank you,
hacerlo.
Mr. Killa.
Tenemos la proyección de cada año generar y compartir nuevas experiencias entre aquellos que contribuyen a la innovación. Queremos cambiar el cómo lo hemos estado haciendo en Latinoamérica. Queremos generar la unión de los países. Queremos colaborar.
Our virtual platform on technology foresight, Prospecta Americas, will support OAS member states in identifying and mapping future trends and technological development of critical importance for the Americas.
Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues.
Este esfuerzo, el cual viene siendo apoyado por la Organización de los Estados Americanos, nos permitirá tener una gran información para poder mapear estas iniciativas de innovación y poder que ellas contribuyan al crecimiento económico, a la competitividad y al bienestar de nuestras naciones.
Como bien sabemos, nos encontramos ya en la cuarta revolución industrial, la que está cambiando rápidamente la forma en que se hace negocios, se produce, se consume y se genera bienestar y entretenimiento en el mundo.
Ecuador, El Salvador, the United States, Grenada, Guatemala, Honduras, Jamaica, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Uruguay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Secretary Osborne. The required quorum is established, and so we will proceed with today's meeting. Before submitting the draft order of business for your consideration, I would like to request your agreement for the inclusion of a new agenda item on a new agenda topic under item 4 related to the 5th meeting of ministers and high authorities of social development. In particular, a request from the government of the Dominican Republic to set new dates for said ministerial meeting. I now submit for consideration of this council the drafted order of business revised as indicated in document CD/OD-126/22 revision 1. If there are no objections, the draft order of business is approved. Approved. Colleagues, the next agenda item refers to the election of officers of the Inter-American Committee on Science and Technology, known as COMSIT. As stated in Article 4 of the Rules of Procedure for the Inter-American Committees of CD, and I quote, each Inter-American Committee of CD shall elect a chair and 2 vice chairs who shall hold office for 3 years or until the next regular meeting of the committee. Their terms shall begin on the date of the election and shall last until the election of their successors. In the event that the committee does not meet within that period, the elections may be held in the framework of the regular CD meetings or the meetings of ministers and or high authorities of the sector in question, provided that the item is included on the meeting agenda. The election shall be by affirmative vote of a majority of the member states. The Secretariat has informed the Chair that, keeping with this provision, 3 candidatures have been received to date to fill the vacant positions on the COMSIT, and these were presented by the delegations of Jamaica in the person of the Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy and Technology of Jamaica, for the position of Chair, the delegation of Peru in the person of Mr. Benjamin Abelardo, I hope I'm saying it right, Marty Corina Castillo, President of the National Council of Science, Technology and Technological Innovation of Peru, for the position of Vice Chair, and the delegation of Chile in the person of Mr. Flavio Salazar Onfray, Minister of Science, Technology, Knowledge and Innovation of Chile, for the position of Vice Chair. I now open the floor to any member state who may like to refer to this agenda item. With no requests, and I'm making sure there are no requests for the floor. Thank you. With no requests for the floor, and considering that 3 candidacies were presented for the 3 vacant positions on the COMSIT, I propose to the member states of this council to proceed to elect Honorable Darrell Vaz from Jamaica as Chair of COMSIT, Mr. Benjamin Abelardo Marty Corina Castillo from Peru as Vice Chair of COMSIT, and Mr. Flavio Salazar Onfray from Chile as Vice Chair of COMSIT by acclamation. I will clap. If there is an agreement, then it is so decided. Thank you. On behalf of this council, I congratulate the elected officers of the Inter-American Committee on Science and Technology for a 3-year term period, 2022 to 2025. I'm pleased to offer the floor now to the Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy and Technology of Jamaica, as Chair of Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and let me take this opportunity to congratulate my colleagues who have been elected, like myself. I'm most gracious and humbled. Ambassador Yolande Yvonne Smith, Permanent Representative of Grenada to the OAS and Chair of the Inter-American Council for Integral Development. Mrs. Kim Osborne, Executive Secretary for Integral Development of the OAS. Dr. Benjamin Marty Corina, President of the National Council for Science, Technology and Technological Information of Peru, and Mr. Mark Bosgalgio, Chief of Staff, Ministry of Science, Technology and Knowledge and Innovation of Chile. Ambassadors, permanent representatives to the OAS, members and strategic partners of the Inter-American Committee of Science and Technology. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Kindly accept warm greetings on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica. As a newly appointed chairman of the Inter-American Committee of Science and Technology, let me first emphasize what a privilege and a distinct honor it is to serve at the helm of this noble organization, one of which is renowned globally for its recognition and proliferation of discourse surrounding science, technology, and innovation as vital elements for sustainable development, economic growth, and knowledge creation and sharing. The past ministerial cycle has seen many successes due to the combined contribution and efforts of all members. Within the Jamaican context, the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology had the honor of hosting the 6th meeting of ministers and high-level authorities of science and technology on December 7th and 8th, 2021. This was held under the theme, Harnessing the Power of Transformative Science and Technologies to Drive Our Communities Forward. Recall that during this meeting, Jamaica informed the delegation of its interest in assuming the chairmanship of the Inter-American Committee of Science and Technology, leading up to the 7th meeting of ministers and higher authorities of science and technology in 2024. The government of Jamaica also actively participated in the planned activities of COMSET, to include Prospector America's 2022 International Seminar on Transformative Technologies and Technology, Mexico, May 18 and 19 of this year. Additionally, Jamaica took on an active role in presenting the recommendations from the Science and Technology Ministerial to facilitate the 9th summit.
Minister, my apologies to interrupt your speech. I think your camera is in the other side.
Thank you. Let me get that sorted. Thank you. Okay, mic check. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are, Minister.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me just go back over that section that we missed. Within the Jamaica context, additionally, Jamaica took on an active role in presenting the recommendations from the Science and Technology Ministerial to facilitate the 9th Summit of Americas held in Los Angeles, June 6 to 10, 2022. The recommendations and commitments of the 6th REMSET were also recognized and highlighted by the regional agenda of the digital transformation and adopted the heads of state and of government on June 9, 2022. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for the upcoming ministerial cycle 2022 to 24, as chair of the concept, Jamaica proposes to focus on the main priorities and areas of work as defined by the Declaration of Jamaica, as well as the main initiatives approved by the ministers in the 6th REMSET. The Declaration of Jamaica recognizes the importance of technology foresight and science for decision making to prepare member states to address global challenges and development imperatives. The Declaration also emphasizes the critical role of science, technology, and innovation to address the main effects and impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and improve resiliency in the Americas. Increasing the participation of micro, small, and medium enterprises in the global economy through science, technology, and innovation, and expanding cooperation efforts and solidarity among the public, private, and academic sectors by providing spaces for communities to connect, learn, and advance pragmatic and concrete efforts to effect change in our countries. As it pertains to the main priority initiatives approved by the ministers in the 6th REMSET meeting, these include the OAS Youth Academy on Transformative Technologies, which is an initiative designed to train, certify, and expand job opportunities in the digital and innovation-driven economy for 10,000 youth by 2024 and 100,000 youngsters by 2026. Of important note is that following the 6th REMSET on December 15, 2021, the OAS Youth Academy launched its first program on augmented reality, offered in partnership with the Meta. This led to the registration of over 22,000 youths from across the Americas on the platform. Other courses on digital skills and transformative technologies are also being developed by the strategic partners of the concept, including structurally and other partners including universities and NGOs. Connectivity for All in the Americas, which aims to accelerate the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, reduce the widening technological and social gaps, and pursue a sustainable, green, resilient, and equitable future. The OAS Regional Network of Centers of Excellence is to promote the use of science and technology with a focus on top transformative technologies to promote cooperation in research, engage governments, the private sector, and the scientific community of the OAS member states. Additionally, this initiative serves to provide insight and address the main imperatives concerning integral technological development in the Americas, as well as to solve pressing challenges in the region. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Jamaica is ready and eager to provide leadership towards the implementation of a regional cooperation agenda on science and technology, using a framework, the Declaration of Jamaica, and a result-oriented and inclusive approach. It is believed that we will see all over the Americas improved social, economic, and sustainable development in our countries and among our people. Kindly accept my gratitude for being here today, and I look forward to your support as we work together to advance the affairs of this noble committee. I thank you.
I guess we will feel free to do so. Thank you, Minister Vance, for sharing this outline with us. We look forward to the work of CONCIT going forward. And I would like now to offer the floor to Mr. Benjamin Marticorina, President of the National Council of Science, Technology, and Technological Innovation of Peru, our new Vice Chair. Minister.
Yes, my brother.
Yes. Our very able technicians to let me know whether or not we have him connected.
Madam Chair, my apologize, but your audio is having some issues. Looks like there is a fan or something like that close to you, and
Okay, let me change that. Please let me know if that's better.
perfect, Madam Chair. Thank you so much. Apologize again.
Oh, not at all. Do we have
Madam
Mr.
Chair,
Monty
I believe
Carina?
we need to ask Mr. Carina to request the floor. We've not seen him requesting. Okay. It's there now. Perfect.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I've had trouble getting access to the microphone and the camera. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the permanent missions, national delegates, and officials of the Organization of American States present at this meeting of the Inter-American Council for Integral Development. On behalf of the National Council of Science, Technology, and Innovation of Peru, which I chair, I'm grateful to you all for choosing my country as first vice chair of the Inter-American Committee on Science and Technology. I returned to this forum a few years after I chaired in November 2004 the first meeting of ministers and high-level authorities of science and technology under the Inter-American Council for Integral Development, which gave rise to the Declaration and Plan of Action of Lima. In that plan of action, central topics were included for strengthening the national and regional infrastructures, national, regional, and hemispheric policies on science and technology, and outreach programs on science and technology and science education, as well as programs of ICT indicators, databases, portals, publications, and scientific journals. This is a broad set of hemispheric initiatives in this diverse field. And recently, all of these regional cooperation purposes have achieved the noteworthy yet insufficient level of development, and therefore the work ahead of us must be realistic and focus on priority activities that are viable and have within a reasonable period of time. We're aware of the growing knowledge gap among countries, and the technological revolution is causing, and it is urgent to reduce the negative effects on economy, society, the environment, institutional framework, and in general on life and the well-being of the populations of the countries of the region. With the chair of Jamaica, we shall contribute to the committee doing the best it can with the activities that are scheduled to meet the prioritized demands as set forth by the members and to create a solid basis for cooperation. I would like for the countries of this organization, I know we realize that this knowledge contributes to improved standard of living, elevates competitiveness of companies, and especially small ones, which are the engine of employment in our countries. We will support the initiative Prospecta Americas, which was introduced by the Peruvian delegation and approved at the Force REM seat in 2017 in Medellin, Colombia. And it was an initiative which, from that time, has been implemented by COMSIT successfully, and we deem it highly likely that in the short term we will be able to have in place an inter-American network of hubs of excellence on transformative technology that works in collaboration to close the knowledge gap and to make more visible and influential the hemispheric presence in global statistics of production in science, technology, and innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marty Corina, and I hope I have been saying your name correctly, and congratulations again on your elections. I am pleased now to offer the floor to Mr. Flavio Salazar, Minister of Science, Technology, Knowledge, and Innovation of Chile, as Vice Chair of COMSIT. Mr. Salazar, you have the floor.
Hello, I greet everyone, especially Ms. Kim Osborne, Executive Secretary for Integral Development, Julian Smith, Chair of the Inter-American Council of Integral Development, and those who spoke before me, Benjamin Morty Corena from Peru, a warm welcome. I also express thanks for being invited to speak, and I would underscore Chile's commitment through its Ministry of Science and Technology to take on the Vice Chair of the Inter-American Committee on Science and Technology, the OAS. I would like to offer the support of my country's Department or Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Now, the ministry that I head up is one of the newest ones in our country, and together with the executive is committed to undertaking a new model of development that would be economically, ecologically, socially sustainable. As we understand, science, technology, and innovation and knowledge play a very important role to push for sovereignty in these capacities. Scientific and technological capacities are very important to consolidate regional integration. We have to take a look at our current problems so that we can build a society of knowledge. Now, the relationship between territories, the environment, and communities, knowledge, technology, innovation that are very important. That is very important. Chile needs to step up its investment in science and technology to tackle its challenges. We are pushing for a transformation of science and technology as an engine of change, and not just for the purpose of harnessing natural resources, extractive industries. We want to spur research, working together with countries of the region to tackle together global challenges such as climate change and water resources. This calls for gender equality, collaboration, inclusion, equity, and diversity. And that collaboration take precedence over competition. And also we need to work across disciplines and decentralize these efforts, avail ourselves of comparative advantages with the emphasis on modular labs, which will enable us to develop capacities such as clean energy, astronomy, cross-discipline research, natural sciences, oceanography, and the sub-Antarctic eco-region is also important. So I am grateful to be invited to take part in this event, and we offer our full support. Thank you.
The Council, I'd like to congratulate the newly elected officers and to wish you every success in the years ahead. Congratulations. Esteemed colleagues, the next agenda item is for information purposes. And that is item 3 on the agenda, the new chairmanship of the Committee of Partnerships for Development Policies. A diplomatic note dated August 23rd, 2022, Ambassador Maria Fernanda Cortizo, alternate representative of Panama to the OAS, resigned the chairmanship of the Committee on Partnerships for Development Policies. As established in Article 61B of the Rules of Procedure for the regular and special meetings of CD, and I quote, "In the permanent absence of the chair, the vice chair shall replace him or her until a regular meeting of CD elects a new chair, who shall hold office until the election of his or her successor in accordance with Article 7 of these rules and procedures," end quote. The Vice Chair of the Committee of Partnership for Development Policies, Mr. Mikhail Bullard, alternate representative of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, has graciously accepted the challenge of advancing without delay the preparatory work towards the next regular session of the General Assembly. I thank Mr. Bullard for his disposition to discharge the office of the chairmanship of the committee and kindly ask that all delegations provide him with the necessary support to be able to accomplish the task at hand that will commence immediately after this meeting. I am sure that I speak on behalf of all representatives in this council to express our gratitude to Ambassador Maria Fernanda Cortizo for the work that she has carried out. We do appreciate the heavy workload that she manages, and she also has important personal matters to attend. Ambassador, we thank you and wish you all the very best. Item 4 on the agenda, to consider the next item referring to the postponement of the preparatory meeting for the 5th meeting of ministers and high authorities of social development and the ministerial meeting as well. I offer the floor to the representative of the Dominican Republic, and that's on the item 4 on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, all. Now, from our Office of Social Policy of the Dominican Republic is having connectivity difficulties, and I am standing in, and I am going to speak on their behalf. On behalf of Francisco Peña Guava, on social policy of the DR, who extends his warm welcome. And so we ask your support once again to put off the preparatory meeting of the fifth meeting of ministers of high authorities of social development to hold it October 20th. This request for a date change is owing to a number of factors, especially that negotiations for the draft declaration and plan of action can be hammered out with sufficient time. Starting Thursday, the 20th of September in the afternoon, we would ask you to take part. We'll be sending in documents over the next couple of days. Thank you, Madam Chair. We would also like to underscore that we are preparing the fifth Brindis in our country, seeking out, making sure that we were able to warmly welcome all of the delegates and ministers in Santo Domingo so that we can most efficiently administer the resources for this effect. And so we ask for your support, that is everyone here in attendance. The new proposed date is 21-22 of November of 2022 instead of 17-18 of November. We would conclude just reiterating our invitation that everyone be with us in the DR, as well as all the civil servants that will make up those delegations and special guests. All of you and us are responsible for this fifth meeting, and we wish for the best of success. We will work together in November to strengthen coordination hemisphere-wide for sustainable social development in the Americas. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Of the Dominican Republic. The representative of the Dominican Republic has informed why there is a need to reschedule the preparatory meeting and the fifth meeting of ministers and high authorities of social development. Having said that, it is up to CD to approve adjustments to the sectorial ministerial cycle, in this case and for the second time on an exceptional basis, and to change the dates of the convened ministerial meeting. For the change of dates of the preparatory meeting, all we need is an agreement of this body. However, to change the date for the ministerial meeting, a resolution is required. I'm informed that the permanent mission of the Dominican Republic has submitted the draft resolution, but the rules of procedure preclude the consideration of this draft resolution during this meeting. However, a decision to proceed with the preparations for the said ministerial meeting can be taken so that the process continues. I offer the floor to delegations that may wish to refer to this item. Having given a reasonable time and noting that there are no requests for the floor, the chair understands then that CD agrees with the request as presented by the delegation of the Dominican Republic and is ready to postpone the preparatory meeting and the fifth meeting of ministers and high authorities of social development to be held on October 20th, 2022. The chair further understands that member states agree to change the dates of the fifth meeting of ministers and high authorities of social development as requested by the government of the Dominican Republic to be held now on November 21 and 22, 2022, so November 21st and 22nd, 2022, and instruct the Secretariat to continue with the preparation of said meeting, including the signing of the necessary agreement with the government of the Dominican Republic. CD also agrees to approve the draft resolution to formalize the new dates at its next regular meeting. If there are no objections, it is so approved. Colleagues, we have concluded all the agenda items for today's meeting, and this takes us to item number 5, other business. I offer the floor to any delegations that may wish to bring any other matter to the attention of the Council. Again, given reasonable time with technology, there being no other matter for the consideration of this council, I thank you for your participation. But before I bang the gavel, I want to say that the meeting will continue, at least the connectivity. Stay connected, because the meeting of the Committee on Partnerships for Development Policies will begin momentarily, and that meeting would be chaired by Mr. Mikhail Bullard of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And with these few words, this part of the meeting is adjourned. And I thank you so very much for your attendance. I know it's been a long day. I shall stay on to make sure the chair is connected properly. We do have the chair. If you can kindly take over, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good afternoon, colleagues. I am very pleased to welcome you all to this virtual meeting of the Committee on Partnership for Development Policies of the Inter-American Council for Integral Development. As you are all aware, Ambassador Cortizo has resigned from post due to extenuating circumstances. And given my role as Vice Chair, and in accordance with Article 61B of the CD Rules of Procedure, I am assuming chairmanship of the committee. At the outset, I believe I speak for not only the delegation of the Bahamas, but I am certain the entire committee when I extend our thanks and appreciation to Ambassador Cortizo for her stellar work over the course of the past several months at the helm of this committee. We certainly wish her all the very best. As I assume chairmanship, I look forward to the support of all delegations as we work together to advance our organization's efforts in the development space, particularly as we enter this critical period in the lead up to the 52nd OAS General Assembly. I'm advised by the Secretariat that we have the required quorum. The Secretariat will take note of other delegations as they join. With that, I call to order the first meeting. Colleagues, the first agenda item is consideration of the draft order of business. I now submit for your consideration the draft order of business, document CD/OD-139-/22. If there are no objections, the draft order of business will be approved. And I open the floor for any delegations to comment. Seeing no delegations requesting the floor, the draft order of business is approved. The second agenda item is presentation on the status of work of the Inter-American Committee on Ports. To complete the review of the status of work of all sectors of CD in preparation for the consideration of mandates to be included in the draft resolution that CD will be presenting to the General Assembly at its next regular session, Mr. Jorge Duran of the Secretariat of the Inter-American Committee on Ports, SIP, will present a semi-annual report on the activities carried out by the SIP. Mr. Duran, you have the floor.
For that, I am under the impression that the mission of Honduras wanted to speak as chair of the Inter-American Committee on Ports Executive Board. I am not certain if Ms. Ponce from Honduras is still wants to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Duran. I see now that the delegation of Honduras has requested the floor. You have the floor, Honduras.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As chair of the Executive Committee of the Inter-American Committee on Ports, and based on Article 109 of the Rules of Procedure approved June 13th, 2017, we would like to submit a report on the activities carried out by the chair, the technical advisory committees, and the SIP Secretariat. Before giving the floor to Mr. Jorge Duran, Honduras is pleased to report that during the last set seat meeting organized by the first vice chair of Uruguay, March 20th through the 22nd, CICIP/Red.1 necessary changes were approved to the rules of procedure for holding meetings of high authorities every 3 years instead of every 2 years. That is, a schedule would be established for each one of these biannual meetings. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Jorge Duran, Chief of the Secretariat of the Inter-American Committee on Ports. You have the floor, sir.
Ms. Ponce, thank you very much, Chair. I would then ask the Secretariat if they could please present the presentation, the power presentation that we have prepared in English, and I will speak in Spanish, and that way, which is how SIP always reports with the presentation, the PowerPoint in Spanish, and I will present in English. I don't know if they can assist me on this, or if I should just share my screen, which of course I can. Perhaps that is more convenient.
I have already prepared, sir, so if you give me 1 second.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Yes, our report will be very concise, as we always do it. It will be based on results exclusively, not on things that will happen, but we have very concrete data and numbers and indicators, which is the way that it works. As you know, Chair, we just recently had a meeting with the Mission of Barbados. So thank you very much. This is indeed a report of the Executive Board of the Inter-American Committee on Ports, called CICIP. And next slide, please. Thank you very much. This is the 4 issues that we will see. There's a short background, and then there's the activities of the CICIP chair and vice chairs. Then there's the activities of the chairs of the technical advisory groups. And lastly, the activities of the secretariat. Next one, please. Thank you. So, perdón, dije que iba a hablar en español. Les ofrezco una enorme disculpa.
I apologize. I said I would be speaking in Spanish. This is the 12th regular meeting of CECIP. There was a record turnout of member states, May 21, and the Buenos Aires Action Plan was approved, as well as the budgets. Now, at this meeting, all of the activity reports were presented, and two things that were very important were issued. The 22nd meeting of CECIP in March of this year, and the 23rd CECIP meeting, and the 13th meeting of CECIP for June of next year in Bogotá, Honduras. Next, please. At that meeting, this is the CECIP, the Executive Committee, Executive Board of CECIP flow chart, presided over Honduras Port Authority and two vice chairs, Antigua and Barbuda and Uruguay, the national port authorities, and then we have Panama, Barbados, Mexico, Uruguay, Argentina, and Peru as the chairs of the CDCs, or the tags rather, technical advisory groups. Argentina, Paraguay, US are the vice chairs of these tags. These are the CIP authorities, the executive board. Next slide. Now, as called for at the 12th meeting of CECIP, the CECIP meeting was held March 15th virtually of this year, with 9 member countries in attendance, all of them, in fact, taking part in this meeting. That Uruguay, in its capacity as a vice chair, organized this meeting, and Darwin Telemac, CEO of Antigua and Barbuda's Port Authority. Next slide. Now, what bears underscoring